dark. You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
Good evening, race fans, and welcome back. After a little bit of a hiatus here, we are back here in the ECR for their season finale from iRacing Super Speedway. They are still running a couple minutes of open qualifying. Last time they were on the track, though, we did see Kyle Diaz get the race win after a little bit of kind of drama at the beginning for a couple of our strong contenders. Tristan Bailey was a black flag for network issues, and Bollinger short pitted and wound up just not having it there at the end. Anthony Ludi wound up second, Doug Denise in third. but that is where that is at. And before we get started talking about points and who's going to go where, I'm Mike Demoni up in the booth as always. Joined with me is Shane Cochran. Shane, man, how's it going?
Going great. Looking forward to getting back into the action here with the ECR on Saturday nights after a couple weeks off. And what a better way to do it than kind of a complete wild card here. We've got a regular season finale. That means it's a playoff cutoff race. And it's at iRacing Super Speedway. So we're going to be seeing speeds we don't really see anywhere else. And racing you can't see anywhere else. And it's all on the line for a number of drivers, whether it's the regular season championship looking for bonus points or who's going to sneak into that final cut line right at the end. So I'm excited to see this one.
Yeah, definitely. We have quite a few notes on who's going to be where and how they're going to have to get this done. But it looks like we only have 16 drivers here tonight, so that's going to make Dwayne Furtick's job just a little bit easier, as without bonus points, he only has to finish 11th. And Tristan Bailey has to win in order for it. Well, wait, hang on. Yeah, okay, he's up in 8th. I'm like, wait, I didn't see him on there. But yeah, he's up in 8th. So he's got to win in order to tie for the championship. And then we have a little tighter race at the cut line. We have Ryan McCall and Kent Mueller. They only have a 5-point gap. So that's going to be kind of tight. And if both of those cars falter, look for Aaron Miller to try and make up some ground there. He's only 22 points out as well.
Yeah, I mean, if you're on the cut line, you cannot afford a wreck. I think that's what it's going to come down to. And then I think I'd wait till about 5 to go before I start worrying about position. Until then, I just want to make sure I make it to the end of this one.
Yeah, definitely want to be around at the end, especially, I mean, you're talking such a tight points gap. I mean, it would be beneficial, I believe, for several of those drivers just kind of hang around and just make their way at the end, watch all the other drivers make mistakes, and then try and capitalize late in the race. But we are set for 75 laps here. And we were talking before, and you said it was going to be pit, 25 or so laps?
Yeah, I've got my crew chief notebook estimating that the fuel window is going to be somewhere between 21 and 24. And again, that's going to be heavily dependent on cautions. But if you stay green from the start, I think it's 21 laps. And then, because you've got a couple pacing laps to get it started. And then from there, it'll be probably 22 laps. But if you start catching a caution here and there, I mean, this is just like racing at Daytona or Talladega. If you're smart about it, you can save a bunch of laps under caution.
Yeah, definitely. And seeing as how it's somewhere in there, we've got 75 laps. So, I mean, if you can save a couple laps here and there, you might only turn this into a 2-stop race, and some of the other drivers might have to make that third stop to try and get there at the end, whether it's a short pit, splash and go or what have you. They do run 70% fuel, and they have 4 sets of tires. So we'll see what happens here as qualifying is done. They will move on to the grid, and we will head down trackside momentarily once they're in.
And again, I think the key to this race is going to be not getting wrecked out before it's time to go. There's no fast repairs for ECR. So, there's not going to be a ton of options to get your car repaired if you have serious damage.
Yeah, definitely want to just think this is going to be one of those survive type races. I mean, there's really only 5 or 6 drivers racing for something other than, the bonus points. I mean, yeah, you probably want them to start the chase, but at the same time, you don't want to really ruin somebody else's race trying to make a move you don't necessarily want to.
Yeah, and I think we were talking about who needs to finish where and whatnot, but there are some bonus points as well. We'll run through those once the race gets started.
Definitely right now, Jonathan Cogswell has that 84 machine up on the front row. Haven't had him up there in quite a while. Ryan McCall starting his day off in P2. Robert Roth and Dwayne Furtick are going to roll off in row 2. Row 3, Kane Lee and Tristan Bailey. Adam Boughton and Michael Carter in row 4. Row 5, Christopher Roth and Tyler Burden. Doug Denise and Aaron Miller are going to start in row 6. Row 7, Anthony Ludi and John Osborne. Kip Mueller and Pete Walsh are going to start shotgun on the field tonight.
As you mentioned, just 16 drivers. So I think that's actually going to make this a really interesting super speedway race. You know, if you've got 40, you just kind of get in the pack and ride along, and there's not a lot you have in your control. But with 16 drivers at this track, 4 wide is not out of the question. So we could see a 4x4 pack going, and at that point, kind of anyone has the opportunity to make a move and get to the front if they have enough momentum to do it.
Yeah, definitely. This is a fairly wide track in it, and you also have a ton of banking in the corner. So look for these guys to try and make some moves and see who can take advantage of the all-important draft at a super speedway style track.
And if you don't recognize some of these paint schemes, it is because this week is I believe it's supposed to be an NFL team scheme week. And I do see a number of drivers rocking some NFL paint schemes. Specifically, the Miami Dolphins look pretty good there on the front row.
Ryan McCall with that rapid fire pizza machine painted in Miami Dolphins colors there. Looks like Dwayne Furtick has a new colored paint scheme too, not necessarily.
I think it's the Jets kind of merged in with his traditional Dell.
Yep, there you go, Jets
pretty,
on the side. Yep.
Pretty smooth looking. And then the Bengals are right behind him on the 9, I believe. We'll get a better look once this thing gets going. The pace car is off of the track, heading down pit road. I think Jonathan Cogswell is on the pole. 75 laps here at iRacing Super Speedway have begun. And like we said, this is one of the widest, weirdest tracks you can race in terms of ovals. So this should be a pretty exciting one if anyone decides to get racy early on.
Yeah, there's definitely lots of grooves, and like you said, you could see him get 3-4 wide here and there. Robert Roth made a pretty quick move, got up to P2 right behind Jonathan Cogswell as that bottom lane is starting to make some little bit of headway away from the outside lane.
Now that we're racing, let's talk a little bit about those additional bonus points available to drivers, because as Furtick and Burden are, or is it Burden or Bailey that's
Bailey.
battling with Bailey? So between Bailey and Furtick, they're going for that regular season championship. That's worth bonus points heading into the chase. But even just in this race, there are a number of other ways to do it. So starting on the pole, that's 1 bonus point. So Cogswell has that one in hand. Leading a lap is a point. Leading the most laps is a point as well. So all these drivers who have something at stake, they can't just ride at the back. Every point matters, and being able to lead the most or even lead one can definitely help them. There's also a hardest charger award. So that's anyone who did post a legitimate qualifying lap. If they pass the most positions through the course of the race, that's another bonus point. The fastest lap is a bonus point, and the cleanest driver, that's someone who finishes with no incident points at all, actually gets 2 bonus points. So when this thing is coming down to the wire, we're going to be telling you where so-and-so needs to finish, but there are going to be some bonus points still in play that might change that after the race is over and all the math gets calculated.
Yeah, they had that in-season tournament that definitely helped. Tyler Burton gets some bonus points after winning that. Got 6 points for that. Michael Carter is fastest man on the track at 55.15 for that last lap.
Looks like the 18 car of Carter might not have a team on it. Instead, he's got either the Monday night or Sunday night football logo. Or maybe that's on top of a Patriot scheme now that I'm seeing him go by.
Yeah, Michael Carter has the Patriots on the side there. Like he has maybe Thursday Night Football on it with the Patriots on it.
Oh, and now I'm seeing teams all through here. The Green Bay Packers represented, Kansas City Chiefs, the Bengals.
The Steelers.
Bengals, as my friends from Cincinnati will always remind me. Broncos,
Chiefs right next to each other.
This is fun. NFL kicking off this week. Already with some drama. We don't need to get into the spitting match between the Eagles and the Cowboys, but do you have an NFL team you cheer for, Mike?
Usually it's the Broncos.
All right. Yeah, I'm in Virginia, so close to DC. I'm a Commanders fan, so we've been in misery for a long time, hoping to have a good season.
Yeah, that's kind of where we're at. You know, you have Patrick Mahomes there, and then after seeing the game last night, the Chargers might be a team. So, see what happens.
Yeah, this is such a magical time of year where everybody's hopes are high. The injuries haven't happened yet. And, fantasy leagues are abuzz.
Packers and Steelers working that outside line.
Yeah, I like that Packer scheme by Mueller. Kind of got a classic helmet stripe right down the hood. Those two at the back are making me a little bit nervous. With this NextGen car, I feel like it's one of the easiest cars to lose the draft with compared to the trucks or Xfinity, and they're leaving just a little bit of a gap to the field.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, it seems like when you're racing the trucks or Xfinity, especially super speedway, the draft seems a lot longer than in the NextGen cars. Ooh, off the curb. Ooh. Off the apron, into the wall.
Oh,
On
no.
top goes Kent Mueller. Round he goes.
And we talked about it. I mean, there's without the fast repair, there's not much you can do, and that's even if he gets off his roof.
Oh, they just threw the caution. I'm like, that was odd.
Yeah, I mean, as we've kind of since the last couple months, we've seen iRacing be pretty particular about when it throws cautions, and in my experience, it has to be somebody on the racing line slowed down.
Yeah, he was way off the track. I mean, you'll see him come into the corner, clip the apron right there. It looks like Miller kind of followed him down there, bumped him, then they both kind of went back and forth. But Mueller got sent to that outside wall.
Yeah, and he's looks like he's already jumped to the pits. And Miller, I think, gonna be okay. Didn't see a ton of damage on that 10 car.
No, just a little bump there on the 8. Take another look from the onboard of Kent Mueller.
Yeah, just misjudged the entry. Oh boy.
That is just crazy.
Well, and that is going to be the first rapid fire pizza caution of the night. With just 7 laps in. Certainly not what I was expecting. I thought maybe we get a little racy at the front and have an early caution. Wasn't seeing it coming from the back.
Yeah, I know that. But like you said, the way they were racing towards the back, kind of losing that draft, they might have picked it up just a little bit, trying to hang on and just misjudge that entry just a touch. And it didn't look like he, went completely on that apron, but just enough with that 30-degree banking, it's going to upset the NextGen and send him right into that outside wall.
Yes, I mean, we talked about it pre-race. Kent Mueller was the first driver out of that cut line in 13th, and that is going to end his run towards the playoffs. Or, sorry, the chase. So the drama now going to come down to... It's Ryan McCall is the first one in, but Aaron Miller has to pick up 22 points to catch up to McCall. I don't think he can do that, even if he gets every bonus point, wins the race, and Ryan crashes out immediately.
Yeah, no, from what it looks like Ryan McCall's pretty well set as the note I have here without bonus points is Aaron Miller has to finish 22 spots ahead of Ryan McCall. Well, there's only 16 drivers, and one of them's out right now. So, I mean, probably not the way McCall wanted to get there, but I'm sure he'll be happy. He'll be racing for a championship.
But as we look forward to the chase, we were talking about that a little bit. You do get 3 bonus points per win in the regular season to get your chase started. So this race means something to everybody heading into the chase. There's a number of other ways they get bonus points to start the chase. So looks like everybody who completes at least 80% of the laps run all year gets 2 points. Everyone who raced every single race and didn't use a provisional, anyone with perfect attendance, that's 5 points right there. Then with the most laps led, that's going to give you 2 points. Most pole positions going to give you 2 more points, and fewest incidents throughout the regular season worth 5 points. And then our in-season tournament winner is worth 6 points. So, if you're any driver in the chase right now, winning this race is at 3 extra points. And that's going to matter.
Yeah, you get that. And then, I mean, even if you're battling close for position, I mean, looks like they get position bonuses for where they finish the regular season. So, if you can pick up 1 or 2 spots, I mean, that's a couple points here and there, and that could be the difference in a championship. You never know. That is the Bengals on the 9 machine.
A lot of brotherly love being expressed over the radio chatter here under caution.
Have the 18 and the 94 there. Michael Carden and Adam Boughton there, both with the Patriots scheme on the side. Looks like everybody took fuel only except for Kane Lee and looks like Pete Walsh and Christopher Roth maybe. Pace car is in, and we are going to be green flag racing momentarily to hit that restart zone. And Bailey, it's a pretty good sized jump here.
I'm looking at my screen here. Is Kent Mueller back on track?
Yeah, it looks like it.
So maybe they did include fast repairs here for this race. I know they usually only do it for road courses. But I can't imagine how he got out of the pits after that impact and flipping like that without using one.
In 3 minutes? Yeah, no. They had to have had him probably for the super speedway, I'd imagine. Just in case. Now we're starting to
do
get
see.
a little racy up front.
Yeah, I think spend a few laps under caution, and you're like, hey, let's get this thing going. I do see that 95 car. That's Ludi in third right now. Second car on the outside line in that Broncos scheme. Mike, you mentioned you're a Broncos fan. Are you more a fan of this dark blue and orange, or kind of the earlier 90s schemes?
I kind of like the colors more, but I like the old school type logos better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I just thinking about the Broncos back in the day, I can see Elway diving for the end zone in the Super Bowl.
Hence the Packers.
Yeah, they are not being shy here in the outside lane. A lot of bumper-to-bumper drafting.
Yeah, Bailey jumped up there to that outside lane, and that outside lane just all of a sudden lost all its momentum. And Adam Boughton headed to the front now with Dwayne Furtick right behind him.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about how this next-gen car is surprisingly easy to lose the draft. Well, it's also surprisingly easy to overheat compared to some of the other NASCAR rigs. So, you know, if I'm second in line here, I'm going to be watching my temps all race long. It will sneak right up on you. As soon as that thing turns red, the engine blows.
Yeah, that's the other thing you kind of have to watch for. That's a little different, I believe, here at iRacing Super Speedway than, say, Daytona or whatever. At Daytona, you can kind of ease out just a little bit and get a little air on the nose. It doesn't seem like you're quite as able to do that here with that 30-degree banking there.
Yeah, you can just stay right on the driver in front of you and push them hard the whole lap. So you never have that chance to back off and get some clean air in the radiator. And we do have two cars that have lost the main draft. Mueller is one, the other is Doug DeNice. And this seems like they're I don't know if this happened by happenstance or if they said, hey, let's stay out of the main pack for a while. But they are losing significant time to the leaders. They're a little over 2 seconds slower per lap. So if this stays green for this fuel run, they'll lose their lap right around the time everybody pits.
Yeah, and having that caution come out when it did, it basically set this up for basically a remainder of 2 stops for the remainder of the race. So as long as it stays green, look for them to try and push it just a little bit further to make it to the end. Oh, caution is out.
I'm showing Cogswell is
Cogswell?
off pace and by himself.
Let's go back and take a look.
Oh, the same thing that happened to Mueller. I wonder if is the sun in their eyes on that turn entry?
We can take a look.
Something is complicating the entry into that turn where drivers are getting in there.
No.
No?
No, but that was kind of what I was thinking. Like, there'd have to be something like that, right?
I mean, seeing one driver do it, you kind of think, oh, they just made a mistake. But seeing 2 drivers do it now, I'm like, what's wrong with the track?
Michael Carter catching up to the pace car. Now the question is, what do you do at this caution? Do you come down and top off for fuel, or do you stay out?
I'm not sure it matters a ton at this point, just to be honest about it. I mean, with a field this small, getting from front to back isn't impossible. as you need to. I don't get the feeling a lot of people are pushing, other than maybe the people leading the lines are doing what they can. Mueller going to pick up the lucky dog and get one of his 2 laps back. So he's right back in this thing. We were kind of writing him off there with the points, but if he can pick up one more lucky dog, he's going to be racing Ryan McCall for that final spot again. McCall currently in 5th.
We're taking that lucky dog. I don't know, maybe that early incident might be what winds up saving Kent Mueller here. But fuel only for the most part.
Yeah, I don't think this track uses tires maybe at all. If you spin out, you're probably going to put some fresh rubber on, but otherwise, the banking just kind of hugs the car to the track. You don't really have to put too much wheel into it. Oh, there's an Indianapolis paint scheme. We didn't see that one yet. Tyler Burden.
Hasn't been up to the front yet, so made his pit stop and got back up there. Like Michael Carter spent 11 seconds in his pit box.
Yeah, Burden, his pit stop wasn't really any faster, but his time on pit lane was 2 seconds shorter than most of the field. So 18 laps in the books. Still got 58 remaining here at the iRacing Super Speedway.
Colts, Dolphin, Bengals, Broncos, Patriots, Jets. I think we've only seen a couple that are duplicate here. The Patriots.
Yeah, pretty good spread. Only a handful of drivers didn't have an opportunity to throw an NFL scheme on there.
I mean, you got the Pit Viper scheme here. Don Osborne.
And again, this is the regular season finale. We're talking all about the chase and the cutoff and the regular season champ and bonus points. And that chase going to be brought to you by Jimmy Granger Ford, the official chase sponsor of the ECR chase this year. And the pace car is off. We're going to get going here for the 3rd time tonight. Green flag in hand. And here we go. Tyler Burden leads them back to green. He's just ahead of Tristan Bailey and Ryan McCall. Again, we'll kind of see how racy drivers get coming off of the caution. Just have a lot of pent-up adrenaline there riding so slow behind the pace car at this huge, fast track.
Anthony Ludi is not wasting any time. He's been all over the rear bumper of whoever is in front of him, as you see him kind of drift a little bit to the outside there of Ryan McCall, giving him a push down the back straightaway here.
Mueller has lost the draft already.
Almost saw like Aaron Miller almost clipped the apron there a little bit coming into the corner again as well.
A 3 wide in the back. Walsh trying to do everything he can, try something different, and that might cost him the draft. As he tucked back down into the second lane, there's a pretty big gap. And like I said, these next-gen cars lose the draft pretty easy, so you want to get tucked in and stay safe as long as you can.
Ryan McCall getting down to that bottom lane, got tired of Ludi shoving him all over the track.
And it wasn't that long ago we were talking about how Miller was at the back of the pack, involved in that first accident. Now he's the third car on the inside lane, coming to the front for the Steel City.
Bottom lane is just trying to hug that yellow line as much as possible, and we've seen it to a detriment a couple times here. Let's see how close they get on entry here.
Again, I'm not sure if Mueller is losing the draft on purpose, or I can't imagine he's got damage. Like we said, I'm pretty sure he had to use a fast repair to even get back on the track. But this is the second restart where he dropped back pretty quickly.
He's just kind of hanging out the back. I mean, logging laps here. See what he can do. Ryan McCall, Aaron Miller.
And the outside lane just dissolving now. And I think it's going to be, pretty similar to a Talladega situation where you're going to have it probably 2 or 3 more cars than the inside lane to be able to keep up with them.
Now that outside lane just got deflated pretty quick, but we'll see if, Ludi was pushing pretty well. He just can't seem to keep up with Boughton there. And then just as I say that, he starts to suck back up again. If they can get those 4 cars together, they might be able to make a little bit of headway. It looks like front of Cogswell got pushed out of line on the bottom side there.
The outside lane now trying something different. They're getting as far away from the inside lane as they can, all the way up by the wall. That seems to be helping a little bit. And they're going to dive back to the middle in the turn. Oh, and there goes a car into the wall.
Kane Lee got into that outside wall. No caution for Kane Lee.
All alone now. It's still a good ways back to Kent Mueller. They might find each other soon, but Mueller almost a full half lap behind the main pack now.
See what happened here for Kane Lee.
I'm going to bet a quarter he hit the apron.
Oh.
There it is, the third car. I don't know. Somebody owes me a quarter.
Well, we've seen him get close, a few more times after that second caution, but you would think that, oh, there goes Miller hitting the apron again. After you see two of the drivers flip that apron and get shot up the track, that you would try and run at least a half lane up, but they're trying to get all that speed on that bottom side.
Yeah, it's just I can't wait to talk to somebody in the booth after this one and get a rundown on what is happening with that apron. Because we're now 1/3 of the way through this race. Regular season finale for the ECR NextGen Cup Series. Tyler Burton has led 10 laps. That's more than anybody so far. Kane Lee had led 7 before he had that issue we just saw.
We got Burton and Bailey up front. They are dynamite when they work together. We've seen it multiple times this year, so if anybody can have anything for those two drivers. Finally got Doug in the booth a couple weeks ago and corrected us on the pronunciation of his last name. I guess it's better late than never for us.
Yeah, I mean that was one that seemed pretty easy. You wouldn't even wouldn't think twice about it, but we got it straight now. This front pack, they're bumper to bumper again. I'm just a little worried about temperature this early in the race. And when it's single lane like this, there's nowhere for you to jump out and get some fresh air. The 40 car gonna try it.
Ooh, McCall going clear up to the high side.
Yeah, I thought he was jumping out to help push. I said, no thanks.
Maybe he got a little warm and decided he wanted to float back to the back of the line again.
Ooh, all kind of close quarters there with the 74 as he is still drifting back. That's Ryan McCall on the outside in that Miami Dolphins scheme. He's going to drift all the way to the back there behind Dwayne Furtick. So the two cars not in the main draft are Kane Lee. You saw him hit the apron and then go up into the wall, but keep it straight. And then Kent Mueller, who had a big wreck early on in the race and just can't seem to keep up with the pack here on the restarts. Now we've got drivers 3 wide.
Yeah,
and again,
Bailey,
just kind of dropping to the back.
Tristan Bailey jumped out of line and nobody jumped out with him. Then he floated back a little ways until the 81, John Osborne jumped out, but that inside line just still is just freight training that outside line with the sheer number of cars. Oh, ground goes Tristan Bailey right into the driver's side door. Caution is out.
Yeah, I mean, we were saying it all race for a 16-car field. I'm not seeing a lot of patience here tonight. We've got drivers clipping the apron. 3 drivers have gotten down off the track, just running in the low groove, and caused an accident for themselves. Then their radio lit up a little bit. So a couple people not happy about that one.
Yeah, let's see if we can take a look, see what happened to Bailey here. A little bit.
He's just getting a really strong push from Osborne. They get a little off center. Oh, it's actually from the bottom, the 62. Christopher Roth. Slides up a little bit of net code added to that one.
Like everything was fine, and then
Oh, the 94. There's nowhere to go. He's trying to get down to the apron, but I think even if he got down there, he would have slid right back up onto the track.
Yeah.
No banking at all to help you down there. And that is another Rapid Fire Pizza yellow. '94 using the wall to keep his car straight at this point.
Machine.
Yeah, not much time to react. Really nowhere to go.
Oh, wow. Yeah, definitely using the wall to keep straight.
I mean, the best thing for him was that he was already coming to the entry to pit road. And the car's turning to the left, so he can at least get in his pit box. So at this point, 4 drivers have had to use a fast repair. Adam Boughton is one. Tristan Bailey, Kane Lee, and Kent Mueller have all also burnt their fast repair for the night. Just 30 laps in, still 46 to go. And I believe that Kent Mueller picked up his second lucky dog of the race right there.
Well, should put him back on the lead lap, so might have to be talking about those points again.
Yeah, he's on pit road right now. Doing what he can. Again, he needs 5 more points than Ryan McCall by the end of this thing. And I don't think either of them have led a lap. So I don't think there's really any bonus points in play for them right now. So it's just 5 positions to keep it simple.
And Tristan Bailey's back on pit lane.
And we talked pre-race about the other thing on the line here is that regular season championship between Tristan Bailey and Dwayne Furtick. 11 points to the good is Furtick coming into this thing, so he's pretty much going to need Bailey to get wrecked out to have a run at it. Or sorry, Bailey is going to need Furtick to get wrecked out for him to have a run at that title by the end of this one.
Yeah, especially coming out of the pits now. He's hitting 15th at the moment. Or should be heading down pit lane, and Aaron Miller going to be leading him to the green flag here as he has worked his way back to the front. Tyler Burden on the outside. Green flag is out, and Burden gets a pretty good jump. Going to almost beat him to the line with the help there from the 59 of Robert Rock. Move down right in front of Miller. Miller giving him a shot down the backstretch here.
Now you got the Colts and the Steelers battling up front. This is not the AFC Championship, but they are locked together.
Rick making a move on that outside lane.
We saw him up front early, and then after the first caution, he dropped to the back and was just kind of riding around. Not so right now. As now Pete Walsh is joining that outside lane, and they are pushing hard to get to the front.
And Riddick pulls out, almost goes 3 wide, tucks back in. Christian Bailey making quick work here of his pit stop as he is now up to 11th at the moment. Riddick in the middle.
Oh, down to the apron again.
They were able to save it that time.
Whew. There's a yellow. Somebody didn't make it. Looks like the 18, Michael Carter, has lost the pack. Ooh, heavy contact on the front of the 18. I think his engine's going. He's going to have to take a tow to get back to pit road. We saw earlier that when Mueller had to tow, he lost 2 laps. Looks like it starts with
Down
the
again.
62 of Roth.
Yeah, so you'll see here, Miller gets, Roth gets down
Wow.
to,
I mean, Miller was all 4 tires on the apron and then came back up. Roth clips the apron. He gets sideways.
yeah, McCall
then
right with him.
Almost saves it and then hits the apron a 3rd time, and that brings him up into Carter. Oof. Yeah, that is a knockout impact for the 18. Head on into the wall. We saw him kind of drifting towards pit road. He had to take a tow.
He was trying to get there. That
I believe-
engine just would not hold up.
And that leaves Robert Roth up front in the 59. All right, the first time tonight we're actually seeing some split decisions on pit strategy. Top 3 staying out. That's Roth, Furtick, and Walsh. Oh, Cogswell stays out as well. So Tyler Burden leading everybody else down pit road. I imagine some of these drivers might need to make a couple seconds of repairs after that interesting lap that brought out the caution.
We thought we were good. We saw, a couple drivers hit that apron and were able to save it. And even Christopher Roth there looked like he had it saved up until that last time he touched it and just came up into Carter.
Yeah, and I imagine this is just a product of the track. I mean, it's the longest straightaways in iRacing, pretty much. Much longer than Talladega, so there's kind of a clock in your head as you get right up behind someone, you're giving them a strong push, and you know that turn's coming, but you can't see it when you're drafting that tight. And that clock in your head is probably an extra 10 seconds here at iRacing Superspeedway compared to Talladega. So drivers just getting antsy to make that left-hand turn, get a good entry, and keep their pushes going. We're just seeing it bite driver after driver. As Carter has now left pit road, looks like he was able to do all that, only losing 1 lap. So he's the only car 1 lap down, sitting in the lucky dog spot. Should we catch another caution? Or should I say another rapid fire pizza yellow?
Getting closer.
Usually we get to see a lot of that Rapid Fire Pizza logo on the cars, but everybody running those NFL schemes tonight.
So it'll be interesting to see how this shakes out. I know that tires aren't really going to matter because they have what, 4 laps green flag run, maybe 5.
And that's if they even took tires.
Yeah, like Pete Walsh did. But other than that, it's just a fuel run.
Yeah, I mean, if you pitted on... So the 4 leaders pitted on lap 29. That means they've got 45 laps or so to make it to the end, which might be just outside the reach of a one-stop strategy. It's going to be pretty close. And again, it's going to depend on cautions and things like that. But I think everyone who just pitted right now here on lap 34, they are probably good to go on one more stop if this were to stay green. And those 4 at the front, they're gambling just a little bit. They might have to save some to make that same strategy work out. Pace cars off for the 5th time tonight. Coming back to the green flag. And it's Robert Roth out front. Pete Walsh. Tyler Burden pushing him on the inside lane. Dwayne Furnick. Jonathan Cogswell. Down on the bottom, and they're getting pushed by Tyler Burden.
Tyler Burden, a massive run, pulls out to the outside. And not to wreck anybody there, but he is way faster. It looks like Pete Walsh is. Ryan McCall follows him out as well.
You know, I saw a whole pile of drivers jump out of that bottom lane together and form up really quickly.
Back bumper there. From that Humanities 101 Foundation 06 Chevy of Tyler Burden by the front stretch now.
And you can see just how hard it is to push someone straight. Those bumpers are grinding back and forth, back and forth. That's fine here on lap 38, but in the closing laps, you're not going to be, you know, given any buffer to the guy in front of you, and it's going to be a lot harder to keep turning these cars around.
Yeah, I definitely thought we'd see a lot more green flag action from the start of the race, and then as the race went on, kind of a few more cautions because you're going to want to get aggressive towards the end of these races.
Here on lap 38, we are officially halfway. A lot more accidents and drama early on than I was expecting, Mike. Oh, contact! As Cogswell tried to get down to the inside lane, didn't quite make it.
Tristan Bailey made that pull down right in front of Tyler Burden, and Cogswell was trying to follow him, just couldn't quite get down in time.
Oh, and then they get a run on Furtick, and they all leave him hanging out to dry on the bottom lane by himself.
Bailey Burden back together. Ryan McCall trying to hang on there as well. Furtick goes back almost outside the top 10, stops at P10 right now. And I know you were talking earlier about how these cars overheat, but with the way that they are drafting right now, if that were to happen, that is going to cause a massive wreck the way as close as these guys are driving to each other.
Yeah, I mean, any time someone blows a motor in the middle of a super speedway, it's going to be a problem. And here we're seeing it again. The outside lane, they're not really in the middle. They're all the way up by the wall. It doesn't look like it's necessarily working, but they're trying.
We got plenty of laps to try and figure it out. See what works, what doesn't. Cogswell trying to make that outside lane work.
And right now it's 1, 2, 3 for Aeon's Motorsports. Bailey, Burden, and McCall. That kind of explains why Furtick got hung out to dry.
We got looking at the teams and the way they're stacked up. Aeons and Revolution Motorsports, those are the teams to be with if you're going to a super speedway. Other than that, you need to try and make friends with them.
And I think this is the longest green flag run we've had here tonight. So it's time to start thinking about pit strategy. Those 4 that stayed out, Cogswell, Roth, Walsh, and Furtick, it's now they're halfway through their fuel run. If we run another 10 laps, they're going to have to be coming to pit road.
They're gonna have to try and stretch it just a little bit and hope that it's enough to make it to the end. These other drivers that you were talking about, they don't have to. They should be plenty good on fuel. They wouldn't have to come till, what, 20 to go? So they should be sitting in the catbird seat compared to the drivers that have to come, 51, 52.
Yeah, and that might be, Furtick might not have minded dropping back into the pack just so he could get the draft going and save some fuel. Kane Lee gets run up the track a little bit. Now, with no friends, he's got someone there behind him. And he bails as soon as I say it. Mueller going to jump up in front of him, though. 38 drop into the back. Again, Michael Carter is the only driver a lap down.
And he's still in this pack, so not terrible. Just needs a caution to come out, and he'll be right back racing with all the rest of the drivers here.
He's going to want it to come out before those 4 drivers head to pit road, because I imagine all of them are going to go a lap down, if not, maybe this is a very large track. Maybe if they get in fast enough, they won't lose a lap, but I think it's going to be close. Again, iRacing Super Speedway is a 3-mile track. Everybody pretty much single filed out now, down on the inside lane, following Bailey. There is a pack starting to form towards the back on the outside, but I think they're going to need, like I said, I think for the outside lane to work here at this super speedway, you need at least as many cars as the inside lane has to keep the momentum up.
you got to try and stay up there. As we kind of hit a good portion of the race on the green flag action, we're going to step aside. We won't miss anything. We'll go picture in picture and hopefully come back before those drivers have to hit that pit window here. But we'll be right back after this. All right, welcome back, everybody. 25 laps to go as we get set to end this ECR regular season finale. Got a few drivers that have to make their way to pit road pretty quickly here. Looks like Robert Roth, Pete Walsh, Dwayne Furtick, and Jonathan Cogswell all last pit on lap 29, so we should see them coming any moment now. Tristan Bailey back up to the front in that Cincinnati Bengals scheme with Tyler Burton in the Colts right behind him.
Yeah, those 4 drivers that stayed out on this last restart starting to run out of fuel. That's Robert Roth, Pete Walsh, Dwayne Furtick, and Jonathan Cogswell. Haven't heard them on the radio to say anything about it yet, but they have now run 22 laps. I expect them in the next 2 or 3.
Yeah, definitely. That's going to be, you're going to probably see them try and make their way down towards the bottom of the track, which looks like most of them, that's kind of where they're running. They might also work their way towards the tail end of this field, make it a little easier to get down pit lane.
The other driver is just 5 laps to the better on fuel, so if this stays green, we're going to see those 4 pit here in a lap or 2, and then everybody else pit 5 laps later. Not going to be this time. Kent Mueller still off the pace, kind of driving by himself. And Michael Carter in the 18 still sitting in the lucky dog position, the only car 1 lap down. Still a lot of racing to go here. And for a split second, we were 4 wide. I think every driver involved was asking, why?
Why are we doing this? Yeah, exactly. Adam Boughton trying to work his way to the outside. Just nobody went with him. So he will go back to the tail end of the field again. Slide down in front of, looks like Michael Carter there.
Yeah, if you're not these 3 Aeons Motorsports drivers at the front, it has seemed hard to find friends here at the iRacing Super Speedway. Everybody kind of looking out for themselves so far.
Make their way.
I mean, 06 still pushing really hard on Bailey. We've seen a couple cars dive out of line aggressively, likely to save the temps on these engines, but those front 2 have been pushing hard for a number of laps.
Just how close they get there as they're stacked up once again here. Almost touched that apron again.
And the whole field now single file down on the bottom, and still nobody heading to pit road.
Be getting pretty close here. I mean, I know we had a few caution laps at the beginning there, but still, I'd imagine they got to be getting close to that half to pit line.
Now, again, my note said 24 laps was as far as you're going to go. They just did 25. So I'm going to have to fire my stats guy. Make it 26 now. We're looking at Dwayne Furtick. Oh, there they are. The radio's starting to light up.
Let's say they have
Driver's going to come this time. as we watch Furtick. He's right in the middle of the pack. He's one of the drivers that needs to pit. He came in the favorite here for the regular season championship. 19 top 10s on the season out of 23 starts. A lot of consistency out of this 51. Four wins there for Dwayne. Not the most, though. Tristan Bailey in second place in the points with 6 wins on the season. And here they come. And actually, they were able to attract a number of drivers to pit a little early and come with them. So now on pit road is Pete Walsh, Dwayne Furtick, Christopher Roth, Kane Lee, Jonathan Cogswell, and Robert Roth.
I mean, if you're running back there, you saw your opportunity to get some guys that kind of have to work with you. So, I mean, probably a good thing to come down with somebody else other than Bailey, Burden, and McCall here, as they are just driving away right now.
Yeah, I mean, they've got a 6-car pack that pitted first, and now they can make it to the end. And right now, it's just a 4-car pack at the front. We'll have to check the lap times once that group gets up to speed. But I think you're right, Mike. I think by pulling in a few extra drivers, they put themselves in a faster drafting group here for a couple of laps. And by pitting out of the middle, they separated a number of drivers from the leaders.
I'd assume we're going to see these drivers come down now. Yeah, that gap is huge.
Sounds like the front group is going to be pitting this next time by. How aggressive are they going to be? They head down pit road. Kent Mueller also
Boughton
coming down that lap. He's sideways on the track. He's going to make it, but there's no way he's going to be in the draft when he comes out of pit road. Even if he did have contact, just losing touch with those drivers, that's going to hurt the 94.
See if we can see what happened here real quick. I have to rewind a little bit. Oh, we're good. Oh!
Yeah, just slammed the apron a little hard and sent the car around. I mean, he's lucky that there weren't any drivers coming on track.
Race off pit lane.
And there are still... Oh, I was going to say, there were still 2 drivers that had not pitted, but that was Boughton and Denice. They are now on pit lane, getting taken care of. And at least for now, it looks like that group of Tristan Bailey, Tyler Burden, and John Osborne made it out in front of the other groups who pitted. So we now have 3 distinct packs plus the 94 all by himself. And through that cycle, Mueller went a lap down again. So he is now in the lucky dog, leaving Michael Carter with nothing that he can do about it. But Mueller has just lost touch with this front pack. You can see him there, that Green Bay Packers car. He's going to drift back to Pete Walsh and Christopher Roth. So we've got a 4-car breakaway with a 4-second gap back to the next group of cars, which is Walsh, Roth, Furtick, and Miller. And then another 3 seconds back to Cogswell, Kane Lee, Robert Roth, and the others. Then Ludi is kind of all by himself. The 18 of Carter all by himself and Boughton in the 94 all by himself. I don't know if anybody's got the car count to start catching the leaders at this point. Those 3 teammates and then John Osborne has tagged along. They are pushing each other really well, taking the time to get clean air on the nose, keep those engine temps down, and then push hard to keep their lap times where they need them to just pull away. Now 5 seconds, 5.5 seconds all the way back to the 74.
Yeah, this Aeons Motorsports going for a 1, 2, 3, 4 finish here with 15 laps to go. I don't know that anybody has anything for him as far as numbers-wise. I mean, you have Pete Walsh, Roth, Furtick. Cogswell's too far back. Almost over 2.5 seconds back from Furtick, so.
McCall out front, cementing his status as a chase driver. Again, he was kind of trying to fight off Mueller. Mueller still a lap down. And Kent was going to have to start, I think, finish 5 positions better than McCall. Well, you can't do that if that 90 is out front.
Yeah, no. The only thing that's kind of got a little bit tighter here is going to be the regular season points championship, as Tristan Bailey's running second, Dwayne Furtick's running 7th. If anything happens to Furtick, any sort of hiccup, and that opens the door wide open for Tristan Bailey.
Yeah, both of them have led a lap, so they get that bonus point. Tristan Bailey has led 23, the most here tonight. Even if McCall leads every lap from here to the finish, Bailey will get an extra bonus point for leading the most laps. So he's doing everything he can to get that regular season title from Furtick. I was talking about some of the stats. So Furtick with 4 wins, leading the points coming in here. Bailey with 6 wins. Tyler Burton has 3. The other big player that we haven't talked about tonight, because he's not in the race, is Colin Bollinger. 5 wins on the season, 17 top 10s. Not here for the season finale, but he should be steadily into the chase. Hope to see Colin in the next race.
Andrew Chapman also not here. Quite a few good runs going.
These front 4 continuing to widen their lead, now almost 8 seconds back to Walsh. I'll tell you who I feel bad for, Mike, is the 81. He's sitting there in 4th thinking, hey, I've still got a shot at this thing, but it's 3 teammates in front of him. With Bailey and Burden pretty comfortably into the chase, they're pushing their teammate McCall, who could use this win to double stamp his ticket into the chase. I don't know if they're going to make a move to get around him. And Osborne can't do it by himself 3-on-1. So he might be stuck here with a 4th place finish.
Yeah, you're talking about stats. So, Tristan Bailey, before this race, had led 1,057 laps. That is 34% of the total race laps.
And more than double the next car, which is Bollinger.
Yeah, that is just insane.
Well, maybe he won't push his teammate to the win then. He's going to lead the most laps tonight. Unless he lets Burden up there. Burden has led 18. He still has time to lead the most laps if he could get to the front. But everyone just looking content right now, and I'm sure they're watching the gaps. There's now 8.5 seconds back to 5th place. And they aren't taking it easy either. They're pushing hard, Mike. We've had time to mention rapid-fired pizzas here tonight with all the cautions we've had. Don't want to forget about our other sponsors, 213simware.com. Been supporting ECR all season. See them on a couple of the cars here tonight.
As we were watching that pack up front, Dwayne Furtick has now faded back to P10 in this line. So if Tristan Bailey can get to the win, that's going to be a... we're going to have to get a hold of the admins to see who wins the championship.
In the second pack, you can see just how kind of haphazard they are. They're not in line pushing each other the same way those front four are, and I think that's why they're losing time, as there's now almost a 10-second gap between the two groups.
Anthony Ludi, Adam Boughton, and Michael Carter are all in this third group back here.
Yeah, the 18 and the 94 kind of just had some bad luck getting caught up in some accidents. But Ludi's just kind of back there, maybe just didn't come out of the pit cycle where he wanted to. Eight laps to go. Ryan McCall still leading. He's led the last 9 laps.
They just came down pit lane.
Oh, Kane. I mean, that's an understatement. I don't think they were planning to come on pit lane.
No.
But they did, and at least Kane Lee also got a black flag for, I'm assuming, an unsafe pit entry. But I think he's going to get that cleared by race control. And this is going to shake up everything. Those front four were running away with it. The second pack gets side by side.
Oh.
And 4 cars make an unplanned trip down pit road with heavy damage to the 74. Wowza. Looks like it started between right here, right there. Oh, you can see how they were not centered up at all. They bring Furtick down pit lane with them. And that kind of resets everything. So Furtick now going to have an opportunity to track down Bailey a little bit closer. Mueller, I'm pretty sure, just picked up the lucky dog. He's going to get back on the lead lap and have a shot at getting a couple positions better on McCall. Again, he needs 5. He needs to finish 5 positions better than McCall to make his way into the chase. And that's not counting the bonus points we've mentioned.
Well,
6
McCall
laps.
leading a lap. That's going to make it another position.
Yeah.
So
yeah, so a complete reset here. 6 to go. Probably going to be about 4 to go when we get going again. Green flag racing. The pack is still not kind of all caught up, so I'm not sure if pit road is even open here. Looks like it is, as Miller is going to head to pit lane.
Definitely not what the Aeons Motorsports team wanted to see.
They're still out front for now, but yeah, I mean, that was they had a 10-second lead. A nice 4-car pack, carrying a lot of speed. Pretty much untouchable. And now all of that is gone. They still have the track position to be up front, but we talked about it. This track is so wide. You can get 4 wide and still have some good racing here. So anybody and everybody from the front of this pack to the back is going to be looking for the win here. Still have 13 cars on the lead lap, and no one's out of it. And everybody involved in that wreck getting their black flags cleared by race control. Yeah, it's going to be interesting what happens here. You know, usually in a regular race, in real life, teammates will negotiate how they're going to get back to single file on a restart after being side by side here, but with so many cars right on their tail, I'm not sure they're going to have a chance to do anything fancy. You might just have to, if you're Bailey, you might just have to stick it out there on the outside and do what you can to block the inevitable third lane.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what you're going to have to do. If your teammates up there, you're going to want to control any lane that's up front.
As we are 1 lap to green, it's going to be just 3 laps to finish this race out. Ryan McCall up front, his teammates, Bailey and Burden, to his outside and on his bumper. Osborne now, he's got to be feeling pretty good. He was going to finish 4th kind of no matter what as they were running. Now he's got a shot to get a bump from behind and maybe throw his hat in the ring. Robert Roth, Cogswell, Miller, Ludi, Furtick in 9th. Boughton, I mean, he's had a tough night. Contact with the wall from an earlier incident, kind of fought back, was by himself for a while, was in a 2 and 3 car draft for a while, losing ground to the leaders. Now he's in the top 10, ready to make a run at it. Again, it's NFL paint scheme night. Got the Dolphins, Colts, Bengals, Broncos, Patriots, Steelers. We're at this 3-mile track of iRacing Superspeedway. Coming back to what might be the last green flag of the night. Pace car going to aggressively drift his way onto pit road. And that's going to leave Ryan McCall out front. Taking the green flag. 3 laps to go. Here in the ECR regular season finale. McCall with a pretty clean start. Bailey and Burden right there. There is room to get single file if they want to, and they're going to do it. Osborne slides back into 4th.
They did it as fast as they could. I didn't anticipate it being that easy for them to get in line. Robert Roth going to try and do something here, has Aaron Miller behind him, trying to make some headway here.
Yeah, I think if these drivers are smart, they're going to need to get the outside lane going and add numbers to it as fast as they can. Miller taking a peek. Furtick now up to 7th. Coming out of turn 4, going to be 2 laps to go. And nobody really taking the chance just yet. They're all tucked in line. Furtick jumping out there. Nobody goes with him.
I was like, Furtick keeps sticking his nose out there, but nobody wants to go with him. Aaron Miller in front of him thought about going there as well. Michael Carter trying to make some moves. Not that he's going to get some positions, but he is definitely a racy car in that 18 machine.
Now got a group of cars lined up on the outside, but they are way towards the back. Furtick takes another peek. No one goes with him. Now Kane Lee. Oh, Miller hits the apron. Sideways. Big wreck. Mueller involved.
Green.
And that is our 6th rapid-fired pizza yellow flag of the night. And we're going to re-rack them and do it again for a green-white checker. Miller's car looks destroyed.
Oh.
That Christopher Roth, Pete Walsh. Big contact for those two.
See it here.
And wow, that outside lane had such a run going. And that's what, the 5th time tonight we've seen a car hit the apron.
Pete Walsh, Kent Mueller. Like, they just did not slow up for Christopher Roth there. What got them involved? So the Steelers are probably going to be out of this race.
Yeah, Miller, I'm pretty sure he had already used his fast repair before that wreck. And looking through, looks like there's only 1, 2, 4, 5. Only 6 drivers have not used their fast repair tonight. This has been a battle of attrition. But this restart going to look pretty similar to the last one. You got 3 teammates up front and Osborne in 4th. And again, I think the lesson there was, if you're going to go to the outside, you've got to do it with some help. We saw Furtick trying to convince people to come with him. Nobody did. And then right there at the end, Kane Lee was leading an outside lane with a ton of momentum. What do you think the seating capacity is here at the iRacing Superspeedway? That's a 3-mile stretch of grandstands.
It is a massive grandstand. I couldn't imagine if they actually had this track real life and a decent car to run it on.
I mean, what, Talladega is 2.6?
Yeah.
So it's not that far outside of reality. Yeah, more than 30 degrees of bankings in the turn here at iRacing Super Speedway.
Actually, it's not. Other than, Talladega is a tri-oval. Talladega banking in the turns 33 degrees. So. Well, with only 10 cars on the lead lap, it's pretty much almost a lock here for Dwayne Furtick to hit that regular season championship.
Yeah, Tristan Bailey has locked up the most laps led bonus point, but it might not be enough. He's gonna need Furtick to wreck pretty quickly so that all the lap cars can get an extra lap on him too. Yeah,
Yeah,
I wish I'd
definitely.
bet another quarter on that caution. Could have had 50 cents.
Well, that's the only time we've seen a caution, though, really, is when somebody hits that apron. Yeah, the high line just is not doing anything. You get up there and you almost go backwards.
Yeah, they just, like I said, you just have to have the numbers or it's not going to work, right? The shortest way around the track is going to be the fastest, especially here where you pretty much just stay wide open throttle all the way around no matter where you are.
Yeah, the only thing that's going to hurt that inside line is if they kind of get spread out a little bit, and I don't envision that happening here, especially with teammates in the first two rows.
Yeah, I think Osborne's going to have to make a move, and he's going to have to get lucky that someone comes with him. You know, Furtick at least has his teammate in the 38 that he might be able to do something with, and those two are bumper to bumper here on the outside line. If they make a handshake deal with Osborne, those three might be able to do something with those teammates at the front.
Pace car is in. Green flag is out. Ryan McCall gets a huge run. Tristan Bailey right with him. We'll see if Burton can slide down. Burton will do just that. Osborne stays with him. They are back up front once again.
Looks like Cogswell going to be the first driver to jump to the outside. Not a ton of help there for him, though. Just Furtick and Lee, and they are maybe 5 or 6 car lengths back, but here they come with a run, and they're going to go around him.
Yeah, they had a massive run, so didn't want to slow it down by trying to get a car in front, see if Osborne can do anything. Cogswell trying to jump back in line. Not quite fast enough there. White flag is out. 1 lap to go here at the iRacing Super Speedway ECR finale.
Again, I think they're just waiting too long, Mike. Somebody's got to jump out.
They've got to do something. This is crazy.
I mean, they're not even really together past the top 3 or 4.
No,
There it is. Roth going to jump out. Osborne stays in line, though. And Roth is all alone. And he is screaming over the radio. What are you guys doing?
Everybody just staying in line. Nobody's trying to do anything. Ross stuck out there on the high line, going backwards in a hurry. Tyler Burton jumps to the outside. Teammates racing for the win. Ryan McCall trying to block. Blocks high, blocks low. And he will do it. Osborne looks like Osborne might have got up for third there as they came to the finish line with a help from Anthony Ludy finishing 4th. Tristan Bailey winds up 5th. And Dwayne Furtick comes home P10.
Well, we're at least going to get a chance to ask Osborne why he waited so long. Yeah, quite the finish there as they stayed single file all the way until they got out of turn 4, and then it was 5 or 6 wide. Everybody trying to get what they could. And really, no one made a move until the teammate tried to make a move.
And nobody really stuck with Bailey. Bailey gave a shove there to McCall and then kind of backed out and let him go.
Yeah, not the race I was expecting, especially with all of those cautions coming off of the apron. But Ryan McCall came in the first car in the playoff, or the last driver in the playoffs, 12th in the leaderboard. He's going to get the victory, guarantee his entrance into the chase, and add the couple bonus points too to build some momentum for that 90 car. Doing it Dan Marino style.
Tyler Burton
He is
gonna join in
burning
there.
it down. They didn't quite get the 1, 2, 3 as Bailey dropped back to 5th. But Aeon's Motorsports having a great race. And the three of them, Bailey led 23 laps, McCall led 21, and Burden led 18.
We can get Osborne up here.
62 laps of the 79 we ran here that was led by one team. Not a bad showing at all.
Definitely is not. We'll get Osborne up here in the booth for you.
John, you got Shane and Mike in the booth. You got a copy?
I am here, gentlemen.
How about that? We saw, I mean, not the race I was expecting at all. Drivers really struggling with that apron. That was pretty much every caution of the night started with a driver clipping the apron. Tell us about your night and give us a little insight into why you think that was happening.
Well, when you're entering the turn on this wonderfully made, very real super speedway, you actually go downhill into like a bowl, and so it's very hard to judge, especially when you've got all the cars around you in dirty air. You know how you need to, turn the wheel to get down in the corner. And so guys are just misjudging that all night. I mean, even for me, it took me a few laps to get used to it, but once I got it, and then it was fine. I knew, at what point I needed to make the turn down into the corner. And I think that's what allowed us to, the four of us on Eons to pull away after the pit stops. Is we were entering the corner and staying low and weren't, coming up. And so we were able to make a ton of time because of that. And so we definitely didn't want to see that first caution there, which led to a couple others. But man, when we were gapping them, that was a lot of fun. Once we got in line, all four of us, man, we flew. It was a lot of fun tonight.
Yes, sir. And that explains a lot to me. So we didn't have you listed on the Eons roster here. So we were kind of wondering like, hey, when's Osborne going to make his move against these teammates? But now that fulfills the picture for us. The four of you up front looking great and then coming home with a 1, 2, 3 finish. Great team night for you. I think you all led something like 62 of the 79 laps. So congratulations. Anybody else you got to thank for tonight's performance?
Definitely want to thank the team. We all work together very, very well, and usually put together good plans for each and every race. I wasn't really paying attention there toward the end. I forgot, Tristan was trying to either win or finish second, so he could, make a push to win the regular season. And I mean, when you see the checkered flag coming, I mean, you kind of want to get up there and win it yourself. But no, I appreciate our team. We work very hard week in and week out to try to put our best product as a team together. We also fight as individuals, but we definitely like to make sure that we're taking care of each other. So thank them. Thank Adam, Kent, for putting on such a fun league at ECR. I think this is my third season, so I've been really enjoying it. We have really, really good racing for the most part, and it's a very, very fun league. Thank you guys up in the booth for what you do, week in and week out. I know tonight was a little interesting when we're at a racetrack that's not in real life, but still fun nonetheless. And then last but not least, I want to thank my mom and dad. I know they're watching right now, and I appreciate them. They watch every single race I run in, so. I definitely want to thank them, and I forgot about the NFL team, so I guess I'll thank the Pitt Vipers, which is not a real football team. But I would have had the Atlanta Falcons on there if I had remembered to do it. But I've been working a lot and had a double date this evening. Barely made it in time to get into qualifying. So, it was a good night. Congrats to Ryan on the win. I think that's his second one this season. I think I'm the only one up there doesn't have one yet. But that's okay.
a double date and a podium finish. I think that's the hat trick here tonight. So congratulations again. We'll see you in the next race.
Yeah, we'll see y'all later. Appreciate y'all so much.
All right, John. Appreciate you. Have a good week.
All right, y'all too.
All right, let's see if we can get Tyler down here in the booth. Hey, Tyler, Mike up in the booth, man. How's it going?
It's going. How are we doing, boys?
Yeah, not too bad. Well, that was a heck of a run there that kind of got reset with that caution before last. But how was it racing out there at this super speedway?
Yeah, it was different. It was a little annoying to be honest. We kind of got boring after a while. I kind of felt like Tony Stewart, and I wanted him to start playing music over the radio, so that way I don't get bored out there for a bit. But yeah, that caution kind of messed a lot of us, the four of us up, because we were running away with it. We looked like Stuart Haas there at Talladega that one year, and it was real unfortunate. And then there at the finish, Tristan wasn't able to hold on to fourth because I made a move and John decided to go with me. But other than that, it was a pretty good race, especially with all four Eons putting on a clinic for a good portion of it.
Yeah, it definitely was. You guys led a ton of laps here tonight. You got Ryan locked into the championship chase, so you guys can regroup and take next week off and come back and see what you guys can do for the start of the chase.
Yeah, it's gonna be the last 3 weeks have been some good rest, but I think a lot of us were antsy to get back racing. I know me, Ryan, and Tristan and John we're all pretty antsy to get racing again, and you know we'll convene together and see what we can come up with for the following chase races.
Definitely, man. Well, congrats once again. Anybody you want to thank before we get you out of here tonight?
Yeah, I wanna thank Rowdy or Christopher Travis at hold on, I gotta look at the hood of my car because last time I said it wrong and he's gonna get mad at me. So Rowdy Travis Designs, that's what it is. Just for him. He made this Colts paint scheme for me last minute because I totally blanked on this scheme, and I even made a comment that it was a little weird seeing Bengals, Colts, and Dolphins all working together all out on the track. But yeah, I'm all the Eon guys, Tristan, Ryan, John, all the boys back at the shop, and getting this all to work together, and Humanities 101. Everybody go check the Humanities 101 website out. It's got a lot of good information about autism and ADHD and just neurodivergence in general. And my mom and dad, my dad for getting me into racing, teach me everything I know. It's pretty much all I've got.
Definitely, man. Well, congrats again on the good race here tonight, and we'll see what you guys can come up with for Kansas.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right, we'll get the race winner down here for you, Shane.
Ryan, you got Shane and Mike in the booth. You got a copy?
I got a copy.
How about that, man? You come into this race sitting on the cut line, just 5 points to the good. And there's really only one way to guarantee that you're going to make it into the chase no matter what the other guys are doing, and that's winning the race. You're able to do it with your teammates. Walk us through your night.
Honestly, I wasn't even racing like I was close to the cut line. I didn't want to try to ride a line all night. I mean, that's why I kind of poked out here and there, just tried to take it pretty wide early in the race. I was just out there to have fun. I didn't really care about the cut line. I felt like with the amount of guys out there, and unless I got dumped early, I was probably going to be fine. So I just went out there and went for it.
Yeah, you talked about, you're just trying to survive. You were one of only 6 drivers that didn't have to use a fast repair, and that was one of our pre-race kind of keys to winning this one. So you're able to do that, and then you come out of that last green flag cycle with all your teammates right there to help you, and then the caution comes out late. Tell us about how did that feel? I mean, you're feeling pretty comfortable with all your friends around you, and then you're going to have to defend a 16-car field.
Yeah, I thought that was unfortunate. I mean, we were cruising. We were slowly pulling away half a second at least every lap. So it was basically, seeing about how well we were going to try to make this finish at the end among the teammates there. I still would have preferred that how we ended it and not use a couple green white checkers because I know we were trying to make sure Tristan had as much gap to Dwayne as possible for that, and it didn't work out for him in the end, unfortunately. So that was probably the only downside tonight.
I mean, it was a great race to watch you up there at this 3-mile track. Not necessarily a real life track, but it looked like there had to be 3 or 4 million fans in this front stretch grandstands. I don't know if you were looking up there. They are packed full, and it is a long front stretch.
Yeah, I might just stay in the infield all night and let traffic peel out. So,
I mean, it should be a pretty good party. But yeah, we had fun watching you race. Anybody else you want to thank for tonight's performance?
I mean, first and foremost, the team. I mean, we executed pretty damn well on that pit road, green flag pit stop, and then the 2 restarts. I mean, I couldn't have done that with less than 4 of us up there. So, that first and foremost, that was the biggest thing tonight. So.
Yeah, and you got to feel good knowing that Talladega is in the chase, and you guys just had this performance here at the iRacing Super Speedway. A lot of that's going to translate over. But the next race on the schedule after a week off, next week's going to be at Kansas. You're going to have anything for them there?
I like Kansas. Just this car just builds tighter and tighter, and I'm just not liking it. So I'm hoping it's a little bit of a looser set. I'll probably have to jump in and do some extra practice because I do like Kansas. I won there 2 seasons ago, so I like it. Just hoping the car cooperates with me. So.
Well, congratulations again on the win here tonight, and good luck at Kansas in the next race. Again, we are off next weekend, so everyone can enjoy the Bristol race on Saturday night in real life, and then we're back racing here with ECR at Kansas on the 20th. So congratulations again, and we'll see you then.
All right, appreciate it, guys.
There you have it from the top 3, but let's go ahead and go through the race results here. Ryan McCall, Tyler Burton, John Osborne, the top 3. Anthony Ludi snuck in there for a P4. Kristen Bailey in 5th. Adam Boughton bounced back for P6. Robert Roth, Jonathan Cogswell, Kane Lee, and Dwayne Furtick round out those lead lap cars. Michael Carter, Aaron Miller, Christopher Roth, and Pete Walsh 1 lap down. Kent Mueller and Doug Denice. And that's it. Only 16 drivers took part tonight, so we'll see what we can do when they rack them back up in 2 weeks at Kansas and Kentucky, all through the finale at Auto Club.
Yeah, not exactly the race we were expecting here tonight at the Super Speedway, but some pretty exciting finish there with 4 teammates almost finishing 1, 2, 3, 4. Tristan Bailey slipped back to 5th though, and Ryan McCall cemented his way into the chase. So pretty dramatic season finale here for ECR.
Yeah, definitely was. And Dwayne Furtick did lock up that regular season championship, so he'll get a few more bonus points to start the chase. We'll get it all reset and ready to go, and see what these 12 drivers can do starting almost from fresh, but we'll get the points all updated and have all that info for you in a couple weeks. But until then, anything else you want to say before we get out of here and have a week off?
No, just another great race here with ECR. A lot of clean, respectful racing. We did see some cautions, but everybody otherwise being pretty courteous and some great racing.
Yeah, it definitely was. Everybody was a little antsy to get going once again, and they'll have another break before we set them up. So with that being said, from all the drivers of the ECR Next Gen League and all of us here at Sim Racing Media, I want to wish you guys a good night. We'll see you in 2 weeks.